pilot was killed during the attack, and the cockpit is heavily damaged. We don't have a safe way to fly out of here. Would you be able to give us a ride? I'll let the captain know you're coming aboard.
Thanks a lot.
We'd be stranded if not for you.
So you're giving us a ride? Good. Can't leave here fast enough. It's creepy. Just having the pilot's body lying there. Yeah, he was a solid pilot, but to be honest, I didn't really know much about him. This is really not how I saw this day going. Supposed to be a quick delivery job. Yeah, right. Anyway, we're ready to leave whenever you are.
Thanks for doing this. We won't be any trouble.
Hey, you might want this. Indicators are green. We're free.
Possible at the main security office in Paradiso. Over and out.
So, Miss Stay Up Late reading under the covers, did you learn anything new from your book last night?
Landing gear is ready. Sight is clear.
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the stars to navigate. That's so cool. But I guess it only worked because they just lived on one planet. And that sounds boring.
I faces some of the same sorts of challenges everywhere. I'm forever fascinated by the convergence of those solutions.
Your safety is our #1 priority.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sukiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with? Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? Great. I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions. Can't say for sure. Looks worn, but not cobbled together like a Crimson Fleet junker. Others have been saying it's some new Varun design, a gigantic battleship with hidden armaments preparing for assault, but that doesn't check out either. There's also been talk about non-human sentient life. The comms data we received might support that, but humanity's spread far and wide and no one's ever encountered anything like that. Still, first contact. Could you imagine? Not quite. It took some time, but we received a transmission. It was all, pardon the phrasing, it sounded almost alien. Like nothing anyone's heard before. Clicks, distorted groans, buzzing, really disturbing sounds. Now, one of our engineers says it could just be some busted comm equipment or incompatible signals, but we're not sure. So far, no one's disembarked from the ship. No landing craft, nothing. We don't have the staff or ships to spare, otherwise we'd dock with it and attempt to board. It bears no discernible markings or allegiances to any manufacturers we're aware of. I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're dealing with some sort of new deep space threat. It is. Whatever's going on, we need to approach this with care. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or whatever's on board. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have your pay. Good luck.
We've got some of the best private security in the settled systems.
Hello, and welcome back. Mr. Tofik, I am aware that this is your 8th visit to our resort. Your repeat patronage is much appreciated. Is there any assistance I may offer you today?
Actually, a question. Usually when I come here, the shuttle takes a certain route, showing me the beauty of this world. But this time, our entries seem to take longer, and we pass by a lot more open water. Was there something wrong with our normal flight path? I heard the rumors of a ship in orbit.
Please allow me to apologize for this inconvenience. This alternate entry was required due to a meteor shower affecting the usual descent route. Nothing to worry about. To make up for this, allow me to credit your account with a 15% discount on spa amenities. Once again, we are dreadfully sorry.
It's okay, Viator. I know you're programmed to be overly concerned with your service. I just wanted to know why. But thank you for crediting my account anyway.
This is your first time here. Thank you for choosing Paradiso for your vacation destination.
Hey, I noticed you arriving at port shortly after I did. Something's been bothering me, and I've been dying to ask another guest. They told us there was a very active meteor shower, which is why we had to divert our flight path coming in for our landing. But I haven't seen a single shooting star since I've been here. That's weird, right? You're probably right. I've just been feeling stressed as of late, and worrying about something silly like that will only make it worse. I should just relax here and let Paradiso melt away my worries like it always does. Thank you for grounding me.
This is your first time here. Thank you for choosing Paradiso.
I have something for you.
Liftoff complete. Let's go. We're in orbit. What next?
might want this. Sorry. I wasn't... Yeah, I do. How did you know?
Stay alert. Weapons at the ready.
Remain calm. There's no reason to suspect whatever it is hostile.
I agree with the captain. Now is the time for diplomacy.
Sharp.
You're human. Oh, pardon my ignorance. We just didn't expect to find people out here. We didn't think anyone else left Earth before us.
Welcome back to the rest of humanity. You're no longer alone.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
I don't know all the particulars, but I'll try to answer as best I can. It's a colony ship. It was built long ago by our ancestors to sustain our crew over hundreds of years in space through generations of travelers. It's sturdy, fast, and spacious. That last one is important because we had to take as many supplies as possible with us on the journey and still have ample space for our crew. I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others. Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am. For security.
The Constant is a peaceful
I do not believe we have need to fear
Don't change
arrest, but I'll allow it if you insist.
We were never trained to address
Welcome
threats
to the
coming from
Earth
outside
colony
our
ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened.
We've got
So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on out.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
It's like we're walking in a
So,
time
here we are.
I cannot imagine how hard this was to maintain.
We didn't believe anyone would be out here, but I'm glad for it. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. Difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? We suspect that our equipment is woefully obsolete compared to whatever you all have now. In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so our comms aren't particularly robust. That limits our options. We even attempted communicating with lights and sounds, something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. Oh, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. When we left Earth, there were no claims to planets this far out into space. We had assumed that we were the only ones attempting a generational journey such as this, meaning that there would be no need for a formal claims process. Regardless, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, did manage to file a charter for this planet's first colony, to be named New Jamestown. According to his records, no one took it seriously when he filed it, so likely it was either ignored or the records were lost to the ages. Given humanity's lack of interest in colonizing the far reaches of space at the time, it shouldn't have been a problem, but again, here we are now. Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resources to get there. And as you know, it took us 200 years to get here. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can possibly settle on an inferior planet. Excellent. Make no mistake, this is our planet, and we intend for them to see this our way. So, speak with their leadership and see if you can negotiate a solution on our behalf. Preferably, get them to see things our way. Report back to me and let me know what they say, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world. Now, it makes little sense to give up before you try. Thank you, and good luck.
I know Captain Brackenridge has essentially given you free rein to wander the ship, but security will still be watching you closely. I hope you understand, given we have so little experience with people from the outside. It pays to take security seriously. Something I understand much better now than in my youth.
Just stay out of trouble.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived. Careful waving that fancy gun around.
I've heard about you, but here you are.
There's so much more to learn about now.
Keeping a 200-year-old ship running is no easy task. I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome! I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster-than-light travel and eclipse our poor old ship? Oh, I've heard of this technology, but always believed it was theoretical in nature. Maybe we can talk about it in more detail later. I'm sure you have more pressing matters to handle. I've waited this long. What's a little longer, eh? Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And, I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today. Yes, of course. Anything for my new friend. Some may say I'm a master of keeping things together with nothing but duct tape and bubblegum. Well, if we had any gum left. Pretty sure that ran out 100 years ago. When I'm not dealing with catastrophic engine failures, I manage the other engineers. We maintain all the machinery, computers, you name it. We keep the life support on, and the ship flying. Ah, great question. I do not know for sure, but I can venture a guess. All of the reading I've done on the matter suggests that at the time, there was uncertainty that the technology would ever work, or if it did, that it would work at the scale we needed. So, I trust they made the decision to strike out when they did, fully believing it was the only way. Many years ago, when I was a junior engineer, the reactor's computer burned out. The computer that controls the reactor's various regulators. I'll spare you the details, but when that happens, the ship and everyone on it is in danger of turning into a mess of hot slag. I had to jury-rig parts from old media devices to prevent a meltdown. And that's how I became the boss around here. Yes! So many! Does everyone have their own spaceships like you? Do people only live on naturally habitable planets, or did they learn to terraform? Are we in contact with alien species? I have so many more, but I don't want to take up all your time. Haha! I knew it! Incredible! Amazing! Simply amazing! In our ancestors' time, only the very wealthy could afford to build ships. Even this ship was only possible by our families pulling together nearly all of their financial resources. I'm not surprised. The amount of energy it would take to terraform an entire planet seems improbable. I can assume these types of colonies are strictly for mining and gathering rare resources, since there are nearly limitless habitable planets to choose from out there. Disappointing, but not unexpected. When you showed up, I tried to tell the others about the Fermi paradox. I suggested that the most likely explanation for you was that humanity had developed faster, more advanced technology and had leapfrogged us. Seems I was right. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I can have a bit of a big personality, I'm told. So let me know if I ever get on your nerves. See you!
I wonder what else is out there.
Hey, it's almost time to take inventory of our stock again. Hi there. Oh! Nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us. Yeah, I know. It's funny, though. All our lives, nothing could prepare us for this. We were born into a universe where we legitimately thought we were the only people in existence. Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled, even the food, in a roundabout way, if you know what I mean. It works out for the most part, because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here.
Take care. Hey, Dusty, if you're ever thinking to yourself, I could really listen to Barrett's dulcet voice right now, then instead of dreaming about me, stop by and say hello, okay?
These are exciting times, aren't they? Just stay out of trouble.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little community. Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be interesting.
Got a moment?
To think,
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
Hey there.
I'm a doctor and a counselor. I assist my wife Lorelei in performing minor medical duties, but I also practice psychology and help maintain our crew's mental health. I know it must seem strange to you. I am not a captain, nor am I a security guard. But I was brought along for a very specific reason. The captain trusts me to de-escalate situations. Pardon me saying, but we did not know who you were or what your intents were. So, Captain Breckenridge wanted me to come along as a friendly face and keep the conversation amicable. I am glad that you were peaceful, and my role was as limited as it was. Thank you. Life on a colony ship has its ups and downs, as you can probably imagine. I tend to look on the bright side of things, however. To the best of our knowledge, we were on a critical mission, saving the human race from extinction. That notion was always with us, and it instilled a sense of pride and duty. Sure, the living quarters could be considered cramped, and we could go nowhere else. But we also had near-endless time with friends and loved ones. I suppose as I get on in years, I have learned to appreciate that more than anything. Be well on your journey.
Hey, Miss Julia. My mom and dad were scared when you came on board, but I don't know why. You seem okay.
We have a lot of movies to get through, but maybe during our next group choice time, if you can convince the other children.
Really? Yeah! Hey everyone, Miss Julia said we could watch it again!
And then maybe we can watch one of the sequels some other time.
Wait, they made more of them? Ah, I'm so excited I can plot! That's what Mr. Abe says sometimes. He's funny.
Yup, he sure is.
I'm glad
anyway,
you're not an alien, but that would have been so cool.
Oh. Alright.
I'm happy for the children, that they will know we are not alone out here. Hello there. Given that I don't know you, you must be this visitor I've been hearing so much about. I'm Julia, the Constant's chief historian. It's nice to meet you on this momentous occasion. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? We're the descendants of wealthy elites, intellectuals, artists, scientists, and others who left Earth in 2040 to spread humanity to the stars. The thinking was that Earth's days were numbered for a variety of reasons. Our finder, Rupert Brackenridge, had the foresight to plan for the worst. Thus, he constructed this colony ship to settle what seemed like the most habitable planet we could find, knowing full well it would take generations to reach. We suspected that we may have been the only ones to leave Earth, given that no one else seemed to have the same idea. I'm glad we appeared to be wrong. Well, we launched Tuesday, September 27th, 2140. So, about 190 years now. Would have been longer, but it turns out we have an ace navigator who saved us some time with some tricky maneuvers. ECS stands for Earth Colony Ship. We wanted a fairly inclusive name to represent the planet, and not a particular nation of origin. There was an old colony ship that sailed across the oceans of Earth from a country called England to settle on a new continent. It was called either the Susan or Sarah Constant. No one seems to know for sure, so ours was shortened to just Constant. Ironically enough, that ship also reached what they thought was new land and found it populated when they arrived. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? Another time, then?
Captain Brackenridge says the future is bright, but I think the Constant was pretty bright too, so I don't really know what she means.
Exploring the galaxy is releasing ship from dock. Done. We are now free to move among the stars.
Look at that. An oasis in this hostile galaxy. I hope you brought your swimsuit. Exploring the galaxy is hard work. Trust me, I know. Stop by sometime.
Oh, I got sand in my shoes again. Hi. Sorry.
Yet another nice day in Paradiso. They're all nice days, I guess.
Your safety is our #1 priority.
Hi there. Hello, welcome to Hotel Paradiso. You may continue inside to the main desk if you need to check in for your stay, or feel free to browse the shops along the promenade. Let me know if I could answer any questions you may have or help you in any other way. Enjoy your stay at Paradiso. Welcome to Paradiso. Ah, this is your first time here. That's exactly what it is. Paradiso prides itself on being the fanciest, most relaxing resort getaway in the galaxy. People from all over come here to bask in the sun, enjoy the all-natural beaches, explore, enjoy the local wildlife, and generally get pampered. Unfortunately, the beach is reserved for hotel guests only, and that goes for the entire planet's beaches. The Paradiso Group owns all land on Parima 2, so you must either be a resort guest or have prior authorization for any public or private beach use. But, and you didn't hear this from me, security rarely has the bandwidth to patrol outside the main resort. For that, you'll want to head inside, go to the main desk, and speak with Dirk. He'll be more than happy to guide you through the check-in process. If you have business with Oliver, you'll first need to speak with Kiwi, the board's executive assistant. You'll find them if you take the elevator up to the top floor and go down the hallway. Always feel free to ask if you have more questions.
Every day's nice around here.
Exploring the galaxy
I
is
think you
hard
call us
work.
one of the
Trust me,
nicest.
I know. Stop by sometime and let's talk. Just us adventurers, okay?
It may be paradise, but that doesn't mean we don't run into trouble.
Welcome to Paradiso Gift Shop and Convenience. Feel free to look around, but don't break anything or you've got to buy it. And before you ask, there aren't any discounts, so don't even try to haggle with me. Why would I? I have to sell overpriced crap to rude, obnoxious tourists all day. My uncle works for the Paradiso board. When he said he could get me a job here, I expected an executive level job, not this. But it's not all bad. I don't have to worry about getting fired, and I live in Paradiso for free. Now, can I get you something, or are you going to keep asking questions about my life? No. Ugh. You people always think that just because we're some fringe planet and not part of the free stars or whatever, that we're happy to haggle for everything. I wouldn't even care, honestly. But they take it out of my pay if any money's missing, so no discount. Yes, that's what I'm here for. There you go.
Exploring the galaxy is hard work. Trust me, I know. But stop by sometime and let's talk. Just us.
No major incidents in a while.
Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment? Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board? Sure. Have fun in the shark tank. And don't worry, even they call it that. If the Paradiso board is busy in a meeting, you can always count on me to relay your message. People were a little freaked out around here, understandably. It looks so different and it's so massive. We honestly thought we were under attack by an unknown entity. But then, nothing happened. It just stayed there. No one could communicate with it. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board believed it would be bad for business. I hope I was able to help.
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Balom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront in a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
If you've heard about us elsewhere, chances are...
Hello? I didn't realize Kiwi was letting people in here. No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the ones who show up day to day. The others spend their time lazing on the beach or gallivanting off-world. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to make all the big decisions around here. Seems to be working out for us just fine. We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with the intent of turning it into the biggest and best resort in the universe. To that end, I'd say we've succeeded. As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see, none can afford such a deal. Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective or the United Colonies. Makes things easier. We don't pay any taxes, we don't need to follow their laws. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. And no one minds because half the politicians and other big shots love vacationing here. Works for everyone. I am. And you must be the diplomat Giro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm going to cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We've run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some bodgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tourists catch on and cause a scene. Despicable? Hardly. Just a backup plan in case we can't get them to leave. But you're right, no one's going to buy aliens. Remind me to fire the marketing team. So, tell me, what's the actual deal with this massive eyesore of a ship, besides scaring people away? I'd say you're full of it and might have been watching too many movies. Now, instead of wasting my time, want to tell me what it really is? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. Oh, I didn't say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation. You. I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would make our lives so much easier if that ship ceased existing. Make of that what you will. We operate outside of the Free Stars only, you see, partially because we don't want anyone else meddling in our affairs. And we'd rather not draw attention to it, as I've mentioned. It could be bad for business. We'd much rather settle this independently. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with. And how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Well, absurd or not, that's our official stance. I make the decisions that are best for our entire group. You don't. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? I have no idea, because I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. But it's a wonder that old ship made it all the way here in such a relatively short time. Must have really been pushing themselves. An engineer friend of mine told me once that the reactors on those old ships have a tendency to self-destruct if they overload. Of course, their engineers must have taken great care not to push it too far. Someone would likely have to override the safety systems in the reactor computer. But who would do such a thing?
You better be asking for your next magic show and not for any stupid reasons.
Good on you. You want to see a man named Benny St. James over at Hope Tech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him. We'll coordinate our engineering team with his when you return, though you may have to help the Constance engineers prepare for it on their end. Good luck.
There are so many hospitable planets out there. More than enough for everybody. And the best part is, nobody has to die or become indebted or anything. An elegant solution.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
Hey, if you have time, I've been thinking about some things. Wanted to talk to you about it.
Hey, hope you're enjoying yourself.
Enjoy your stay, knowing you're in our capable hands.
Hello.
Shotgun!
Engine's ready. Got a moment? Let's catch up. And we're back where we belong.
Welcome to Freestar Space. We're gonna do a quick scan for contraband, and you can be on your way. You're good to go. All clear to land at Hopetown.
I don't want to hear any complaints.
Hey, got anything you need to offload? I'm sure you can find something.
Keep an eye on your valuables.
Time to shine!
Someone needs to do something.
That wouldn't work. The O2 needs enough capacity for the whole ship. Sure, that sounds like me. What can I do for you? I'm a little busy, but I think I could spare some time.
Incoming!
Oh, you should have just said that. Of course I can help you. Oliver sent a courier ahead of you. I did some research on ships from that era, and I have a decent idea what we're dealing with. So grav drives didn't really take off until after the ship was built. But I've got access to an ancient grav drive that looks like it could be compatible. It's some minor adjustments. It's in good shape, too. But it's not cheap, though. Neither is the labor. Just pay the combined cost of parts and labor, and it's yours. It's a pretty big ask, given how rare these old grab drives are. Perhaps not, but I don't want to just settle for an offer far below its value. This part is incredibly difficult to come by.
Take cover!
Maybe it is self-serving to demand such a price. Tell you what, sounds like this is for a good cause. While I can't give you the part for free, I won't charge you for the work. You're darn right it is. I'll get to work on it right away. I recommend you go back to the ship and ask the captain to prepare for its retrofit. Standard stuff. I'm sure they have an engineer on board to help. We'll send the part along when it's ready and install it with the help of Oliver's people. Pleasure working with you.
Oh, yes! I know.
Is this really happening?
Alrighty.
Got a moment? Let's catch up. This never gets old. Lift off!
Apogee complete. We're in orbit.
Hey, so I'm really enjoying our time together. Thought you should know. It's been a long time since I worked with someone so closely. I didn't realize how much I missed it. And you haven't stopped me from looking into this stuff with Irvin either. So, thank you. See, that's what makes you a good captain in my book. You're supportive. On that note, I do have some news about Irvin's case. So, I wanted to let you know that I heard back from my contact, and I think you'll want to hear this. They sent me a copy of some public records. It's interesting. There was a claim filed against Irvin, accusing him of damaging their investments. Looks like Irvin didn't even enter a plea. The Hephaestus Mining Corporation. And they also won the case. Some of Irvin's paychecks were seized, as well as any assets that weren't under joint ownership. He wasn't even on the planet for the duration of the trial. I think they scared him off. Anyway, this mining corporation, Hephaestus, sued Irvin, claiming he irreparably damaged their mine. They said he killed the apex predators in the area around the mine, which led to herd creatures overeating the grasses. That caused the soils to release too many gases too fast, which cost Hephaestus a ton of money. They claim the creature he killed was a critical hive species that caused a cascade effect when they were killed off. Irvin killed the equivalent of a queen bee, and the whole hive collapsed, basically. Thank you. So, is this a cover-up? If so, of what? And why did it involve Irvin? So anyway, according to the court documents, there was a witness for the defense, who was a no-show too. Then Hephaestus won by default. They tried to take his apartment, but because it's in my name too, they couldn't. They withdrew their testimony the morning of the trial. Said they had a sincere change of heart. Yes, they plan to stay in the same system for a while. That doesn't mean we can't do anything about it. And if nothing else, I just want to know more about what happened to Irvin. So here's what I was thinking. I can persuade my contact to keep digging a little bit more. I don't want to press our luck, so I'll just ask them to follow up on one thing. Should I tell them to investigate the company more, or look into the witness instead? I wonder what his real reason was for retracting his testimony. Did he report anything to security? I just want to know why they picked Irvin. Why did they set him up? For that much money? They'll do it. You know, this investigation is time-consuming, but it's also pretty cathartic. And who knows? Maybe if we solve this case, it'll mean a better future for Gagarin. But that's thinking too far ahead. Anyway, Captain, thanks for checking in with me.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that. Never seen a ship like that.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
I read something interesting in a book today.
Oh yeah? What's that? This is a garden built to sustain the maximum amount of people possible. It's a monument to life.
People always appreciate the good engineer, whether they know it or not. What grab drive? Just joking with you. The Paradiso engineers filled me in. Okay, let's see what we need to do. All right. This will be fun. And hopefully there will be no explosions in the process. I have just received word that the drive is here. Ready to get to work? Oh, don't worry about that. Just a little engineering humor. We've kept this ship going with minimal incidents this long. I'm not about to let anything happen to it now. But, to be clear, what we're doing is very dangerous, and we should be prepared for anything. Yes, of course I need your help. My team needs to stay on top of their daily maintenance, and I need to make my own preparations for this gravity drive you brought us. Your help is going to be vital to this procedure. And have no worries, it'll be easy. I'll guide you through the process. Great. There are 3 preparations I need you to help me make while I set things up on my end. First thing I need you to do is reroute the power from the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator. Then, turn the plasma runoff inhibitor function to 5%. Last, you'll need to decouple the magnetic flange pipe enclosures from the auxiliary module assembly. Got it? Let's hop to it!
I noticed the malfunction. The tertiary condenser coils.
Noticed that earlier. Shouldn't be anything to worry, but let's get it patched up.
I'll get right on it.
Something wrong? Good luck out there!
Wow. Hi.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out
Entire life in the constant.
If the other something. There are 3 things we need to do. Reroute the power from the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator. Turn the plasma runoff inhibitor function to 5%. Decouple the magnetic flange pipe enclosures from the auxiliary module assembly. So long! Looks like everything is good to go on both your end and mine. Can you go inform the captain while they're finishing the installation? Thanks.
Piloting the old Constant has been fun, but I'm looking forward to flying some fancy new ships when this is all over.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work. We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do. No matter the outcome, I won't let my crew down.
Well, well, it would appear we have the means to go nearly anywhere now, thanks to you. The engineers even upgraded our communications equipment so we can speak with passing ships. Turns out it was a pretty easy fix. Thank you again for all you've done. We don't yet know, but we did receive a star map from the Paradiso engineers. I suppose we'll just chart a course for other suitable habitable worlds until we find one that matches the quality of Paradiso. Purima 2 here. Without you, we'd most likely be stuck. But you went above and beyond. I'll make sure people tell tales of your generosity for as long as our society lives. I don't know if we can ever fully repay you. Thank you again. What's it looking like, Yue?
Still nothing new, Captain.
As you were.
You were the one who helped us out of that mess with the Paradiso group. Nice to finally meet you. Oh, geez. Sorry, of course you don't know my name. We never met. I'm Yue. Wow, I never thought this would happen. Sure. Well, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. I'm the navigation officer. I pilot too, though the ship was designed to pretty much fly itself, so I don't get to do that as much as I'd like. But I'm helping us to chart courses for new worlds. The data we got from Paradiso has been quite handy for that. Then it's just up to the captain to make the call on where to settle down. See, the nav system's not perfect. We encounter stuff that our forebears didn't originally count on. Astral bodies, space debris, stuff like that. So sometimes I need to take manual control and get out of tricky situations. Then there was the time I used those unaccounted for anomalies to our advantage. Slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be there, saved some fuel and knocked a few decades off our journey. Pretty incredible stuff. It's incredible. I'm pretty excited to meet new people and ask them all sorts of questions. I wonder about all we've missed this whole time while humanity has advanced around us. Captain, I think I may have found us a new planet to check out. Looks like it might be suitable for our new home.
Take no offense, but I'm keeping an eye on you. I maintain order around here, and I aim to buy.
Back in the lap of luxury.
Now that we know there are other people. Boy.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Wow. Hi.
Oh, I've heard about you. The visitor who helped us get into the situation we're now in, roaming the galaxy with no end in sight. Sorry, I don't mean to be ungrateful or rude. I'm just frustrated. Certainly not what I want to do. I mean, I hate this job, and there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm the cultivation manager. Fancy words for farmer and fertilizer collector. I didn't have a choice. Most people don't. You get a job, and that's it. Like, I'm great at what I do, but I would enjoy doing literally anything else. Meanwhile, my sister Julia, she gets to hang out with kids all day and watch movies. The kids I couldn't care less about, but she doesn't even care about Earth culture. Ugh. Still pretty terrible, even though we're now supposedly on our way to our new home. I'm still stuck here with the same people and the same job, day in and day out. Only now, we occasionally see other space travelers. I was really hoping we could finally settle somewhere, because then at least I could hitch a ride out of wherever we landed. Sometimes I wonder if my sister was the lucky one. Ah, so you've met her. No, not Julia. Julia and I were actually triplets with our sister Jen, but the ship ran out of one of her medications and she didn't make it. Sucks, but it is what it is. We only have so many supplies, we couldn't exactly get anything new along the way. Anyway, it happened a long time ago. I don't really feel that she's lucky. I'm just frustrated. Is it that obvious? Breckenridge is intent on finding a home just as perfect as Paradiso, and it's clear that's never going to happen. I'd love to leave. But outside of you and the occasional passing trade ships we make contact with, there aren't any ways off this ship. And besides, Breckenridge forbids it. I've tried. She insists we stay together for the sake of the community. I'm stuck here. Oh my god, yes! It's all I've ever known. But I feel a deep need to get out of here. I can't explain it. Maybe it was all those movies I saw as a kid. Green meadows, beaches, lush forests, mountains. I've always wanted to experience these things. And we were so close to it, damn it! I could almost feel it. So yeah, I'm done with this place. It's a long shot. You've dealt with her. You know she can be stubborn. But then again, you did make her see reason before and set us on this path. Maybe you can do it again and fix this mess. Sorry, I know it may not sound like it, but I'd actually be really grateful to you if you succeed.
The captain seems like a reasonable person. I'm sure we can get her to see eye to eye and convince her to let you go.
Trained to address threats coming from outside our ship. Underestimate a human's ability to create something even deadlier than before.
We've got strict rules around here. They're strict for a reason.
Just stay out of trouble.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. You're lucky we're under orders not to.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
That planet was not right for us anyway. No doubt the next one will be.
Must have taken
That's
some
a good
remarkable
question.
discipline to
But
get you
I
all
firmly
here.
believe that establishing our own home is what our ancestors would want for us. I think that we will assimilate to some degree, particularly when it comes to trade and exchange of ideas. However, we've fared by ourselves for so long, it would be unreasonable for our people to give up our own sovereignty in favor of a completely different society's rules and expectations. It may seem like it's about me maintaining control, but it's more about avoiding massive culture shock. We'll get there, but we'll need to ease into it so future generations can reap the benefits. Understandably, some are disappointed that we gave up our home, but I think I've managed to convince them that this will be best in the long term. I have no doubt that even if it takes more time, we will manage to find something even better. And it's important to remember we're still way ahead of our original schedule. Everything will be fine. I'm well aware of Janet's desire to leave. I'll tell you the same thing I told her. For the sake of our mission and community, we need to stay together. Each member of our community is valuable, especially Janet. If she left, we'd be at least a couple of weeks behind in food production while we train someone to fill her role. But I suppose if you brought us more food staples to tide us over while that happens, we could do it. Say, a large quantity of potatoes? Sorry, that's not going to be enough. If we're really going to do this, you'll need to bring me more. Let me know when you've got what I'm asking for. We've roamed the stars for... Well, if you can bring me those potatoes to make up for our potential food shortage in her absence, I'll be happy to consider it. I'll be the judge of that. You really think so? Well, it doesn't hurt to consider this proposal, I suppose. I suppose not. It would be bad for all of us if she slipped into depression. I know, which is why I'm taking into account the future of our entire crew and not just one individual. Sorry, I've made up my mind and we can't afford to lose her. Unless you can figure out some sort of reasonable alternative to make up for her absence, then my answer remains a firm no. Very well. Return when you're ready.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting.
Now that we know there are other people out there.
These are exciting times.
Just because I recognize it.
Ship's released. Let's go.
underground or caves has been a classic.
Keep your eyes peeled for signs of terramorph activity. After what happened to our forces in New Atlantis, we need to be extra vigilant.
Be careful down near the mines, and enter any active sites at your own risk.
Hey, I know what to distract.
A shootout in Sedona. An unnamed...
The miners pretty much run the lower levels here.
Some might see junk, but I see an opportunity to turn scrap into something I can sell and profit off of. Hi, welcome to Jane's, Sedonia's only 100% independent one-stop shop. I apologise if I'm a little distracted. I'm currently dealing with a little issue, but please let me know if there's anything I can get for you. You have no idea. Every time I feel like I'm getting ahead, something happens to knock me back down. But unless you're some sort of merc, I'm not sure you can help. See, I saved up to get a new ship and hire a pilot. He was supposed to help run deliveries and bring in all sorts of new goods, but he went missing. I can't find anyone willing to track him down. I'm worried something bad has happened. If all else fails, I'm probably going to, but I'd rather not. That ship? I bought it from a sketchy dealer because it was all I could afford. Seemed too good to be true. I'm not sure now it was entirely legit. So, you see the problem with contacting SysDev. Really? I mean, thank you. I know it's a lot of trouble, but it'll mean a lot to me. I'll try to compensate you as best I can when you bring back Eric and my ship. It's a cargo runner called the Berry Mule. The last signal I got from him was out near Triton. It's a starting place, at least. And try to bring them both back in one piece. I can't imagine what Eric's going through right now. If I don't have what you're looking for, maybe you'll find something else you like. See you around.
Ship's good.